You don't have to memorize anything. We got it all right here on the website, dude.
I don't remember the dates or the times and all that stuff. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, the last time you were on, I didn't have that.
No, Kevin Lyman he got teamed back up with Monster and just came out with that not too long ago.
Nice. What the fuck have you been up to?
Well,
yeah, you're not like...
I haven't been in Manistee since October 10th. I took a voluntary layoff from Martin Marietta, and I've been out in Pennsylvania.
What are you doing out in Pennsylvania, dude?
Well, I have a good friend that I used to tour with and actually on the Vans Warped Tour. And he bought a music venue and some property out there. And he's bought that about 2 years ago, and he's been hounding me to come out and work for him. And I've been...
This episode is brought to you by The Outsider of Manistee. We're showcasing their family tavern, their beer garden, and their arcade. Their large outdoor patio. This place is really awesome. It's very focused on family, getting people outside, getting them to tour the city of Manistee, showcasing our social district with their newly added indoor bar, which is awesome. They have 6 drafts, over 100 canned beers and canned cocktails to choose from on the menu. This is a really awesome place for the family. You got to mess the kids, fill their pockets full of quarters, let them have at those pinball machines. Mom, Dad, enjoy a nice cold draft beer or a canned cocktail. Get yourself something to eat, feed the family, feed the kids, wake up that liver a little bit, and then go enjoy downtown Manistee. These guys are located at 457 River Street. You can find them on outsidermanistee.com. Call them at 231-299-1235 or order for pickup and delivery at orderoutsider.com. Check this place out. You won't regret it. This episode is brought to you by Northern Spice Company, located at 378 River Street, Manistee, Michigan. You can contact them at 231-299-7492 or at spices at northernspiceco.com. Listen, folks, are you the type of person that just grinds in the kitchen trying to make a top-shelf culinary experience for your loved ones? You're in the kitchen trying to make the best meatloaf, the best pot of chili, the absolute best pot of goulash. Where are you getting your spices? That's what I want to know. Where are you getting your spices? You're going to put all that hard work into making something that is an absolute masterpiece for your family, but you're going to skimp on the spices? What? Look, if you're buying your spices at the supermarket, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for your family. Because what could have been an amazing meal didn't quite come out the way you wanted it to, did it? But if you shopped at Northern Spice Company in Manistee, they make everything on site. They mix all their own spices. This stuff is there's no added preservatives, nothing extra added in other than the spice. Hey, you don't know where your spices are coming from when you pick them up off the shelf at Walmart. There could be wood chips in there for all you know. Not from Northern Spice Company. Use their Simple 3. I put that shit on everything. Sea salt, fresh ground black pepper, fresh ground roasted garlic. One stop. Sprinkle that on. Mwah. They have a steak season called Manistee Steak Seasoning, a holy hamburger, the Simple 3 like I already talked about, the pure maple sugar barbecue rub, the 1871 pork and poultry barbecue rub. I could go on and on. Hey, and don't skimp on the international seasonings either. No salt Italian seasoning, Saison seasoning, Italian seasoning with rosemary, and Greek seasoning. They also have a wide array of no salt choices, sauces, salsas, and syrups. Oh, but that's not all. They have one of the largest selections of teas in the county. Chamomile, Earl Grey, peach decaf, Italian breakfast. You want chai tea? They got that too. Ever heard of mango black tea? Neither have I. Spice Company's got it. How about a little Irish breakfast? They got that too. How about a little white chai? Yeah. Keep going and going, folks. Northern Spice Company has all that you need to spice up your life and to warm yourself up with a little tea. Check them out, folks. Again, that's Northern Spice Company at 378 River Street, Manistee, Michigan. You can check them out at northernspiceco.com, or you can contact them at 231-299-7492, or send them a little love letter at spices@northernspiceco.com. Spice up your life. This episode is brought to you by Brandon Ball, broker owner of Dwelling Realty, Keller Williams, Northern Michigan. Are you looking to sell your home? Then look no further. When you list your home with Brandon Ball, you'll get a trusted advisor who will guide you through the entire selling process. With extensive knowledge of the local market, he'll help price your home competitively to attract the right buyers. And with proven marketed strategies, your home will be seen by the most qualified of buyers. With 17 years in the business, you'll have someone experienced who's on your side. Contact Brandon today to get started selling your home. 231-690-4981. That's 231-690-4981. Or Brandon at dwellingrealty.com. This episode is brought to you by the Ramsdell Regional Center for the Arts. You can find them online at www.ramsdaletheater.org. Or you can reach them by phone at 231-398-9770. So check the website for the ticketing information. That's www.ramsdaletheater.org.
Hemming and hawing it, and because as you know, I spent 20 plus years in the music and action sports industry, and I've been at Martin Marietta 8 years now, and I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of comfortable back in Manistee, but still that little strings tugging at me, maybe I should go. And they started doing this voluntary layoff thing, and I was like, screw it, I'll sign up for it. I'm right in the middle of the seniority list, so I usually never get anything cool like that. I'm kind of always stuck there. But it got down to me, and my boss called me. He's like, hey, the layoff's down to you. You want to take it? I was like, hold on a minute. So I was like, I got to make a phone call. So I called my buddy John, who owns the venue, and I was like, this is what's going on. He's like, well, can you be here tomorrow? I was like, well, not tomorrow. I got to get a couple things together and stuff.
Sure.
So I got my stuff together and packed the truck up, and I headed out there. So I've been out there since October 10th, and it's been very refreshing.
What are you doing?
So he, when I got out there in the fall, he was about 3/4 of the way through setting up for Halloween. He does a haunted house through the whole venue and the amphitheater and all that. So I helped finish that off. And then he does a drive-through Christmas light experience, which the only drive-through Christmas light experience I've ever been to is Sparkle in the Park in Bear Lake, which is really cool. But this is like a 2-mile-long drive-through Christmas light experience. It's not a little Sparkle in the Park.
Sure.
So I helped set that up and got that going, and it was pretty cool. I've never gone to one of those before. And for our first year, it wasn't fantastic, but it was great. And then now, because nobody that works with John has ever done that before. They've gone through them all the time and seen them, but we've never done that before. So a lot of learning curves and stuff to go along with it, especially when he put me in charge of it, and I've never even been to one. So it was turned out great. And then he also he's got a little general store that's been closed for a while, so I've been remodeling that, and that's getting ready to open up as a coffee shop and general store type thing. So that was a pretty big project that is just about done. And then he's going to be creating a bunch of campsites at the venue. So I've been running some brand new equipment and kind of a little bit of everything, and it's been nice. And now the music's going to be starting up. So
okay, so that was going to be my other question then. So he's going to have like
he's got
what the focus eventually is going to be is the music.
Festivals. He's not going to do it's not going to be like Pine Knob where like 4 out of 7 days they've got bands coming through. It's going to be more weekend festival, like 2-day festival, 3-day festival based. He's got a swap meet coming up, a motorcycle swap meet at the end of this month, and then for Cinco de Mayo he's doing a big taco fest. So he's got like 20 taco trucks coming in and mariachi band and I can't say this, but Lucha Rave, the Mexican wrestlers.
Yeah.
Lucha. I can't, whatever.
I want to say Nacho Libre.
Yeah, well, same thing, yeah. So he's got that. Then he's got his Lost Highway, which he carried on over from California, and that's a big motorcycle weekend event. And nice. He's got some good names for that. So, and then he does 4th of July festival, and then he they're actually going to have a carnival and everything this year, so he's really stepping that up. And then in the middle of July, he's got another festival. It's like a throwback to all the one-hit wonders of the 80s. So when he put the list out, I saw the list, and I'm like, I don't know any of these names. And he's like, well, this one sings this song and that song. I'm like, he's like, you should know these names. You were a kid then, you know, your parents probably heard all this. So when they put the little video together for the internet and everything, I was like, I know every single one of these songs. So it's like 8675309 and all that stuff.
So like the actual bands, or these aren't covers?
No, they're the actual bands.
Oh, that sounds like it's going to be a sweet deal, dude.
Yeah, and tickets for that were flying like crazy. And then he's got, I think August is kind of quiet around there, and then September, Zakk Wylde, who is the lead guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, and he also is Black Label Society. His dream has always been to a festival, so him and John collaborated, and it's called Berserkus, and it's going to be Zakk Wylde's band, Black Label Society, Cody Jinks, and a whole other host of stuff, and that thing's selling like crazy too. So, and then it'll be back to setting up for Halloween and Christmas lights. So he's got for his first real full year, it's pretty packed, as well as some other little things he's working on at Emo Fest and stuff.
Emo Fest, what's that?
A lot of people hiding in the closet crying. And
it sounds just like I think it would be, for sure.
But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, and it's been a nice break from Manistee, and now I got some decisions to make, and probably the next time we sit down and talk, I can tell you what that decision is and what I'm going to be moving forward with.
Yeah, so, I understand. You
know, it's So I don't want to say too much, but because I'm still not 100%, and as you know, very well know me, I'm a under pressure last minute decision. I'm doing it or I'm not doing it or whatever. So we'll go from there.
Do what you feel's right for you, man.
Heck yeah.
That's how I'm trying to live.
I've always been that way. You know, it's. You know, I last about 8 years at a job. Some jobs a little bit longer, and you know, you hate to say you get bored, but you get like bored or just to lose interest. And I mean, you only live once, so you gotta be happy at what you're doing and get out there and do it, because you never know.
Yeah. But if I could say that every single day and have, you know, everybody around my sphere hear that.
Oh yeah.
You know, hopefully that helps them a little bit. You know?
Yeah, I know. That's what I tell a lot of people, and I think we've hit on this on other podcasts we've done. You know, you like live once, do what makes you happy. If you wake up one morning and you're like, I want to get the hell out of Manistee, pack your truck or your car up and get the hell out of Manistee. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. We're sitting in a building that's been here longer than both of us' ages put together. You know, it's Manistee's here, but there's a whole world out there. So, you know, don't be afraid.
You got all your toys out there?
No, not yet. I just had my truck out there because it was winter most of the time. So motorcycles will be going out and all that fun stuff, and fishing poles because there's a beautiful lake on the venue and great fishing on it. So get that out there, and have a couple of guns because we got a little shooting area we can shoot.
Man, it sounds like a dope spot.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
it's give me that website.
Pocono,
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Poconos Park in Bushkill Falls, Pennsylvania. It's gorgeous out there.
A lot of Amish?
Not where we're at. There's a few. They're a little bit more towards the western side of the state. I'm on I'm like a good hour and 45 minutes out of New York City and about 2 hours out of Philadelphia.
Oh, dude, you can go and see some shit quick.
Yeah. It's
That's
great.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we've got, so where I'm at, when people ask, they're like, well, what is it like where you live or whatever? I'm like, well, we're in the Poconos Mountains. And where I'm at would be, for people around this area, would be like living in Free Soil. And you drive 20, 30 minutes one direction and you kind of hit a city like size of, probably more closer to Traverse City. And then the other direction, a little bit closer to the size of Grand Rapids. 30, 40 minutes. So you can be alone and not worry about anybody.
Yeah.
Or you can, you know, go and do all the big city stuff. Or you can drive, you know, Philly's right down the road. New York City's right around the corner. So it's a pretty good location.
Oh, well, something that just came to mind. Mountain Mobster. So this is like the Poconos is where the mob used to vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, a part of our property that It's attached to our property. It's called the Unity House. So this place was built, I can't remember, it was built like back in the early 1900s, maybe a little later, 1930s. And it was built as a summer retreat for the women's union garment makers in New York City. And it looks exactly like something like off Friday the 13th now. But this beautiful place, all these little cabins on the lake and everything like that. And then in, I want to say 1989-ish, it was like October time to close it up for the year. And they literally locked the doors and never came back. And it's been like urban explorers and stuff like that have kind of ran through it, but there's still some of the little cabins where they put newspapers over the beds like they used to back in the day to keep the mice away and stuff. Yeah. They're still there. Oh, wow. Like the flyers, the brochures and everything they found, still there. Barbershop's still semi kind of set up from what was there back in the day, and so it's pretty neat. A lot of weird history in that area.
maybe Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, maybe if I'm digging out there, I might find it.
Oh man! As much as I'd love to just keep dialing down on what you've been up to, but I know that we're here to talk about tight lines.
Yeah,
I had got a. I don't have my other phone on me. I had got a message. I have this messaging line now. For the podcast, and I have to pull it up. There it is. But one of the first messages I got on it was do a podcast with someone from Tight Lines for Troops. I do this every year.
Yeah,
and my boy Andy comes on every year.
I think this is our fourth year doing it.
This is for sure our fourth.
Yeah,
fifth time you've been on.
Yeah. Yeah, well, here it is. Whoever was looking for the podcast, we've got it. We've got it coming your way right here.
Yeah, what do we got? May 17th and 18th?
Yeah, we got May 17th and 18th. The 17th is when we get all the veterans down to the Ironworks building and get them all registered, get their gift bags. They get to meet their boat captains. They get to meet the other guys and gals that they're going to be fishing with on Saturday morning. Fill their bellies up and tell them to go home and go to bed, because Saturday morning, which would be the 18th, is an early morning for them to get them out onto the big lake and catch some fish. So, it all kicks off that Friday.
Is this the biggest one?
I think so. I think this year's probably going to be the biggest or close to the biggest one. You never really know until you get everybody there and do the final count. But every year it's, we get hundreds and hundreds of applications, and we accept everybody. And we can't get them all out on the big lake on the boats because there's just not enough charter boats to get that many veterans out there. So we get some guys out on the little lake on some smaller fishing boats, and a lot of the guys that don't want to go on the big lake request that, so they're happy to go out and do some pan fishing and cruise around on the little lake and see the sights over there. And then we've got a few boats that take some guys on the river, and then we've got a group that goes to Tippy Dam every year, and then another group that does some shore fishing off of the piers, 5th Avenue and First Street and the Stub Pier. So everybody gets a chance to get out and enjoy a little day of fishing.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of people that are listening or watching this that have heard you talk about it before, but for those that haven't learned about Tight Lines and what it really is, it's like, how did it start, and how do you qualify? Yeah.
So Tight Lines for Troops started in 2009. Bob Ginhart, he is the president and the founder of Tight Lines for Troops. He had the idea, I'm going to take some veterans out on the big lake fishing. So it started out with, I think, his boat and one other boat. So they had probably about 10 veterans. And took them out. He got a great, response from those guys, and the veterans were like, next year, let's do it a little bigger. So since 2009, it's grown from Bob and his buddies taking out a handful of veterans to now we have anywhere between 250 and 300 veterans coming into Manistee every year.
Amazing. To
go out fishing. And the most amazing part of it, from a community side is the community allows us to put this on by their donations. These veterans don't have to pay a penny to come do this. Some of the veterans, we even throw them a gas card so they can get here, or we help them out with hotel rooms so they can get here. Obviously you hear tight lines for troops, so you're like, oh, it's a big fishing day. It's way deeper than a fishing day. All of these veterans, they love to get out there and they love to fish and they love that part of it. But it's a chance for them to get together with other veterans that they normally wouldn't get together with and heal, and tell their stories. And, we have veterans that are World War II veterans. I think we might have one this year or two. Obviously, there's not many of those vets left, but you'll have those guys that are nearing 100 years old being able to talk to a 19, 20-year-old veteran. And you don't get that chance a lot.
Priceless. And
it's priceless. Yeah. So it's just amazing. And to see all those guys come together, because what we do is, like, if me and you were like, hey, let's do tight lines this year. And we signed up and I was like, I want to be on a boat with James. Not going to happen. So what we do is we go through the list, and a lot of the guys are returning guys. So we kind of know a lot of them, but we mix them up every year, because that's one of our big focuses, is to get these veterans to intermingle with people they normally wouldn't, so they can share their stories, they can help each other out if they need help, or whatever that may be, or just drink a bunch of beer and have a good old time on a boat. It's cool. Some guys get mad, well, I want to fish with my buddy Al. Too bad you're not fishing with Al. You want to fish with Al, fish with him on Sunday.
Yeah.
You're going to meet some new people.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. To qualify for to fish tight lines, you just have to be a veteran. Usually around October, November timeframe is when we launch the application process. You can do it one of two ways. You can go online, fill it out online, or you can print the flyer off and send it in, which is a little bit more of a hassle. So you fill it out online, and then you around the March timeframe, we do our selections. So we pick all the guys that are going out on the boats and blah, 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 send out the letters to everybody with all the information they need, and they show up on Friday.
Is there a cap?
No, because we have, there's a cap on the boat, on the big boats, obviously, because we can only fit so many people out there. But no, there's no cap, but it seems to always hover right around that 250, 300 mark. And the other stipulation is you have to live in the state of Michigan. You don't have to be a Michigander, but you have to live in Michigan to be a Michigan veteran to qualify. So if you moved here last year and you're a veteran, you're welcome to come.
You're in.
We'd love to offer it to Ohio and Indiana and the other places, but we just never would be able to accommodate that many veterans. So.
Where's the event held this year?
It's down at the Ironworks venue. Ironworks building is our venue. We've been there the last couple of years. They get on the boats on Saturday morning, 5 a.m. So we'll start getting shuttled over there about between 4 and 4:30. All the big charter boats, they're all staged up over in Manistee Lake, and we get all those guys and gals out on the boats, and usually takes about a half an hour or so, and then they head up the channel, and about 6 o'clock, I think it is, 6 a.m., they all congregate at the pier heads. They do morning taps, a morning prayer, and then shotgun start, and all the boats head out. And you can contest to this. That's pretty cool to go down and see that, because I told you about that one year, and we were both down there in the rain.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see that, to watch all the boats go out. So they head out, and then let me double check my time here, because this is always gets a little confusing, is when they come back in. So this year, the boat procession coming back in is at 12:30 on Saturday the 18th. So what happens is about noon, all the boats congregate again back at the pier heads. And this part's really cool. They all congregate at the pier heads, and wait for 12:30 for the Coast Guard helicopter to fly over. So the Coast Guard helicopter, if they're available, they come down from Traverse City and they lead the procession back up the channel. And this always gets me a little choked up, but all the flags and all the people, it's just amazing.
It's like it's my 4th of July, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Tightlinesfortroops.com. If you guys are watching this right now, go to that website, because the first picture that you see are those flags.
Yeah, and it's just
I get goosebumps.
amazing.
I'm looking at it right now. It's insane how amazing the response is from the community. They just show up with these flags, and they're not the little flags, although there are some of those. But these people are bringing
the full size American flags.
It's just a sight to see.
Yeah, and then they all as they're coming up the channel, all the guys are holding their fish, and people are hooting and hollering, and it's the welcome home a lot of those guys never got.
Yeah,
and it's just amazing. So that's it pretty much in a nutshell. Still need volunteers. You can go on tightlinesfortroops.com, fill in some of those volunteer spots. And the nice thing about our volunteer program is our time slots are like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour slots. So you don't have to commit to a whole Saturday or a whole Friday evening, because like everybody, we're all busy and kids and this and that. So you can help out for an hour, 2 hours, take a look on there and come down and help out. And then sponsors and sponsorship. We always need door prizes. We give a lot of door prizes out to all the veterans. And then, like I was saying earlier, the support from the community on the money side of things allows us to put this on every year free of charge for our Michigan veterans. So
yeah, and then you feed them all.
Yeah, feed them all twice. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, we feed them on Friday night and then on Saturday. So, and then they all get to take home a box of fish at the end of the day too. So they come get fat, happy fish and have a few beers.
Dude,
and
it's really amazing.
It is.
I love doing this podcast with you every year, even though I've heard the elevator pitch. This is the 5th time.
Yeah.
It's important.
And this everyone crossed their fingers and don't do a rain dance or a bad weather dance, because since 2009 we've, knock on wood, we were able to send them out fishing every year. Last year, Mother Nature did not cooperate with us. And it was, the Big Lake was not happy that day. So what we did was we held off, and about 6:37 in the morning, after numerous trips back down to the Big Lake to see what she was doing, we had to call it off. Safety is number one. Number two, it is no fun fishing out there in that. And when you have seasoned boat captains saying, because those guys want to fish just as bad as anybody, and they're saying no way. So we had to cancel it. And it was a very tough decision. Excuse me, but we still had the veterans come for their lunch, because we had a few volunteers up all night long smoking pork butt, so we didn't want 200 pounds of pork butt to go to waste. And we're like, oh man, I don't think we're going to get many people come back for the lunch. 99% of the guys came back.
Yeah, I mean, I saw pictures of it. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, they all came back. We did, because we gave out all the raffle prizes, and actually a couple of guys actually went fishing, and they caught a couple of, nothing spectacular, but a couple of guys went fishing and brought their fishing, so we gave them a trophy. Nice. But the cool thing was what the captains offered those guys was, hey, the weather tomorrow is supposed to be beautiful. If you're going to be in Manistee overnight and stick around, we'll take you out fishing. And quite a few of the veterans went out fishing on Sunday.
That's right.
And Sunday morning, I wasn't going to do it, and I was like, I'm going to go down and look at the lake like glass. I'm like, God damn it. Yesterday there was 8-10 foot waves crashing over the lighthouses, and it was nasty. And this morning was like the most beautiful morning that could be on Lake Michigan. So this year, Mother Nature, cooperate.
I mean, we're getting all the weather now, dude.
Yeah.
For sure, we're getting all the weather now. I think May is going to be a hot month. It's going to be a good month.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really hope we can get those guys out there and get back on track for another 11 years of no canceled.
This is the 11th year? You had the skip year.
We had a skip year, so 2009. We stopped putting a date on it because COVID messed everything up.
Yeah.
So I think we're at 11, 12 years.
COVID was somewhere a twat, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So, tight lines for troops coming up May 17th and 18th, right? Yeah.
17th and 18th. Now, this event, though, it's really just for the veterans. The party, the meal, all that stuff. That's not open to the general public.
No, that's all for the veterans. So
all for the veterans.
General public, if you can't volunteer, your job is to be there on Saturday the 18th at about noon. Get there early so you can get a good spot. At noon, Rolling Thunder hands out the big flags. Bring your own flags, and come on down and welcome those guys back in.
I'm telling you guys, if you take your whole family and go down there at noon on the 18th. If you can't volunteer or you can only make it just that one thing, that one thing and go down to the beach and watch these boats come in and cheer on the vets. It is, if it doesn't bring a tear to your eye, there's something wrong with it.
I always have a hard time talking about it because I get choked up because it's so amazing.
It is. It's one of the most impactful things I think I've ever seen in this community. And,
definitely. It's something else. So 12th, get down there at noon, get there early, and get your spot along the river there. Anywhere from Fifth Avenue, the end of Fifth Avenue Pier, all the way down to where it dumps out into Manistee Lake. You can line up there. Some people like to stand on the bridges and along the river walk and stuff. So
these guys and gals are our heroes.
Yeah,
we need to treat them like it.
Yeah, definitely. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it hasn't changed much over the years. No. Just kind of the same thing. The date changes.
Let's get it out there, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was when you messaged me the other day, I was just thinking about it. I was like, God, I got to get a hold of James. We got to do our podcast again. It's that time of the year already.
Are we doing it? Let's go, dude.
Yeah, it seems like we were just sitting here doing this yesterday, and it's already time again.
So you're just doing a quick hitter this weekend and scooting back out?
Yeah, scooting back out. I had to come home. I had a couple meetings I had to do, and I get into the eye doctor and do a couple other things. And there's a ton of rain out there right now, so a lot of my outside stuff I got to wait on. So it was a good chance for me to scoot home and pick up my bike and a couple other things and head back out.
Next time back will be for the tight lines, or?
Yes, I'll be back for tight lines, and then after that, just depends on if I keep going on the layoff, if they keep calling me, which hopefully they will, and then it just depends on. And, I'll probably be back for the 4th of July because who doesn't like the 4th of July in Manistee?
Dude, there's so much good shit coming.
Yeah, and that's right around the corner too. Now I think about it, but
summer go by in a blink of an eye.
It will.
I feel like this winter's been dragging on, but.
Yeah, and then you got your Run the Pier, which I've seen has exploded.
Yeah, dude, it's insane right now. I mean, analytically, I threw some stuff into an AI thing to kind of project for us, and I don't even want to say dumb numbers, but we put a cap on 500, and I think we're going to exceed that. It's just insane. And we've gone from keeping the 5K, but we added a 10K, a half, and a full, and then we have this kids obstacle course race, which the MRA is going to take over for us, and that's going to be great for them. That's free.
Nice.
And, it's a full-on festival. So the beer tent, we're kind of marketing that separately so that we can encourage the community to come, for people. Because I think what has happened over the last couple of years, especially since we've made it such a big event, is that people that aren't participating in the races think that it's just for the race.
Right.
When really... we want every single person in Manistee County
come hang out, talk to the racers, and bring your kids, let them do the obstacle course. And
trying to raise at least $10,000 this year for Stomp Out, and I think we can do it.
Oh, heck yeah.
We can do it.
I'm sure you can. And then you're doing that at the senior center again, or you got a new venue?
Yeah.
Duffy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
that's a good spot over there.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It really is perfect, and all the races just kind of spider off from there, and It's great. It's going to be a good time this year. So again, weather.
Yeah.
We'll operate with us weather because it looks like it's going to be massive. So we might, if anything, we have a hell of a beer tent. But
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun running that the pier section of it and 40-mile-an-hour winds and
no,
6
dude,
foot
that would
waves.
suck. I mean, 2 years ago we had it was a literal monsoon going on. Waves were crashing over the pier, and Dylan and Zach and I were at the pier watching it happen, going, "Oh my gosh!" We had 5 hours before the race started. We ended up going to the North Channel and having a bunch of beer. We were like, "It's not going to work. We're not going to be able to do this today." And then we were still getting people signing up for the race as all this downpour was happening. We're like, "Hey, do these people want to do it? We're going to do it." And then just 5 minutes before start time,
Weather
the
broke.
sun kind of cracked through the clouds, and it was like, "Let's go, dude."
And that's what we were hoping for last year for tight lines too, because you don't know.
Yeah.
Being on Lake Michigan here, I mean, 1 minute it can be pissed off, and the next minute,
Right.
I mean, you could skip a rock over Wisconsin. You just don't know. So it's like, come on.
Oh, shit, dude. Well, I think that's a good spot to end it. Tightlinesfortroops.com, May 17th and 18th. Go to the website, check out the pictures, fill out the application for volunteering if you can. If you can't volunteer, but you want to come and support, come on the 18th down at the beach right around 12 o'clock. Get there early, get a flag, and watch the troops come in because it is really a sight to see.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Always a pleasure.